In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build your first Google Ads search campaign to start generating you high quality leads. So whether you're a service provider, coach, or local business, this will show you exactly how to set up a campaign the right way. That way you can start driving real results, convert clicks into customers, and start seeing a positive ROI to your ads without wasting any ad spend. So there are a lot of different ways to generate leads using Google Ads, but one of the best ways is by using a custom landing page with an opt-in form where you capture people's information. So something that looks like this. So for today's example, I'll be showing you how to build a search ad to generate leads, and specifically showing you an example where I'm driving traffic to a landing page that looks like this. So this is a client I'm running ads for, and specifically she wants to target two different audiences: people who are looking for eyebrow services and people who are looking for makeup services, because she does both. And the way I'm going to structure this campaign is I'm going to set up a campaign which will have two different ad groups. One of them will target the eyebrow people and one of them will target the makeup people. That way, if people are searching up for eyebrow services, I can show them an ad which shows relevant headlines and descriptions to that service only. That way it just increases the likelihood of someone clicking on the ad. And then same thing for the makeup. You always want to keep this stuff relevant. If you're providing different services, you usually want to segment that out into different ad groups. That way you can pull your keywords together and show the correct ad depending on which keyword the person types. So that's exactly what we're going to do today, and I'm going to show you how to do exactly just that. Keep in mind as well, before you launch any of these campaigns, you always want to make sure that your conversion tracking is working. So right now, the way I have this set up is if someone fills out this form, they hit a thank you page, and my lead form conversion action fires on that thank you page, because it fires when someone sees the thank you page, which is essentially when someone has filled out my form. So I suggest you do something similar. If you don't have your conversion tracking set up, I have a full video on how to set up your conversion tracking. So make sure that's set up in place. I won't show you how to do it in this video, but figured I'd mention that. All right, so now we'll just get right into it. To do this, what you want to do is go into your Google Ads dashboard and click on plus new campaign and click on new campaign right here. The goal of this campaign is going to be leads. So you want to select that, scroll down, and make sure that your conversion actions are correctly set in place here. So here I'm trying to get a lead form opt-in. So what I want to do is add a goal, select the submit lead forms. This should be the conversion action that you have in place within your conversion tracking. So make sure that that is correctly implemented into your campaign. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these other two. That way the campaign is only optimizing for this event only, which is the one I want to get more of. So make sure that that is correctly set up, and then click on continue. This is going to be a search campaign, so I'm going to select that, and I'm not going to take any of these boxes right here, and click on continue. Next, it's going to ask you for your campaign name. What you can do this is you can just call it your business and then lead gen search campaign or something of the sort. So this is targeting specifically makeup and brows. It's a search campaign, so I can put that right here, and then I can put what I'm optimizing for, which is form signups, and then click on continue. So the first thing it's going to ask you is a bidding strategy. So there's a bunch of different ones you can try. Generally speaking, when you're doing lead gen, you don't have a conversion value attached to the lead. It's very hard to assign that sometimes. So often you're not optimizing for a conversion value, but rather just a volume of conversions. So what you want to do is click on conversions. That way you're maximizing for conversions. Whatever you do not select clicks and do not select impression share. These will often get you cheaper clicks, but the quality of the clicks are much lower. And so going with an option like this will get you a better cost per result, which is essentially your cost per lead. It'll also give you the option to set a TCPA. I suggest you don't set this up right away. Let your ads run. Once you have 20 to 50 conversions and you know what your cost per lead is, you can then go back into here, tick this box, and correctly implement a TCPA. But right off the bat, I suggest you don't do it, because often your campaign won't even run and won't spend any money until you take it off. And in terms of customer acquisition, bid for new customers only, I'm going to leave this unticked as well and click on next. There's different networks you can run your ads on. The display network, switch this off every single time. It just burns your money and you never want it. The search network is a little bit different. It can sometimes perform well. Often just Google by itself performs better. However, it's worth testing. So usually what I do is I leave this tick on, and then after running ads for about 2 to 4 weeks, I can segment my results, just show me specific results for the search partners. And if they're not converting as well, then I can switch them off. But for now, I'll leave them running. But the display network, for sure, switch that one off. It's never worth it. Next, you'll select your location. So if you're doing lead gen for a local business, you're going to want to select the location that your business is in and any neighboring area that is somewhat close to that. She's located in Squamish. So what I want to do is enter another location. That way I'm not targeting all countries and territories. And I'm going to type in my custom location right here, which is this one, and select that. And specifically here in my location options, it'll by default select presence or interest. I want to make sure I tick presence only. That way my ads are only being shown to people who are in or very close to Squamish. Next, for languages, I'm going to leave this to English, and that's fine. in terms of audience segments, what I can do here is I can add a couple built-in Google audiences that will just add on a layer of targeting to my ads. This doesn't necessarily make it more narrow in terms of your targeting because these audiences are really big to begin with. But what it does is it just gives you that extra segmentation that you can see down the line when you're optimizing your account, and you can do different bit adjustments on them that way. So what I can do is I can select all of these right here, which are essentially interest groups, which are related to eyebrow and makeup services. So I can leave those as they are. Down here, I'm gonna leave it to observation targeting. Then I'm gonna click on next, skip this for now. I'm gonna skip this for now as well. And now we're gonna get into the bulk of the campaign, which is when you start adding your keywords and start creating your ads. So I'm gonna start by creating my first ad set, which will be the one targeting eyebrow services. So I have my keywords ready to go right here. So what I can do is I can copy these and paste them into here. I'm gonna want them on phrase match. So to do that, I'm gonna put quotation marks around every single one of my keywords. If you don't do this, your keywords will be on a broad match, and if you put square brackets around them, it'll be on exact match, whereas what I did here is I put them on phrase match. Now it depends on what style of business you're advertising right here. Typically speaking, for Legion, I like to go with phrase match as opposed to broad match. Broad match can often show your ads to traffic that is not quite relevant enough to actually get that cost per lead low enough. So usually I like to tighten it up a little bit on the keywords and narrow them down to phrase match. That way my ads are only being shown to either exactly the keywords that are being typed themselves or a variation that is quite similar to that. So now that my keywords are in place, what I'm gonna start doing is creating my first ad, specifically the one for eyebrow services. So the first thing it asks for is a final URL. So I'm running traffic to this page. So I'm gonna copy this and paste it into here. That way, if someone clicks on this ad, they essentially end up here. Next is my display path. So this is the link that shows up right above the headline. So what I can do is I can have the display path book appointment up here. That's a little bit too long. So I can put appointment in my second path right there. That way, by just looking at the display path, people will know that when they hit this landing page, they're able to book an appointment with her. Next, I'm gonna start putting in my headlines. So I have my headlines ready to go. So I'll just start adding those in. I'm gonna start by adding my headlines, which are pin number 1, which are either my branded headlines or my descriptive headlines. So I have those right here, and I'm gonna add my pins number 1 to those. Next, I'm gonna add my pin number 2 headlines, which are my value proposition headlines. So I'll be adding those right here. If you don't know what these pins do, by the way, I have a video on the responsive search ad and exactly how it works. So if you wanna know how to build a super good responsive search ad for your search campaign, I'll put the description below if you wanna take a look. But for now, I'm just gonna finish putting my pin number 2s for these value proposition headlines. And next are the call to action headlines. So I'm gonna add 3 more headlines, and those are gonna be my call to action headlines. So things like book your appointment today, sign up for more information, shop now, things of the sort. So I'm gonna add those down here, add my pin number 3 to those. So now my headlines are done. What I have is I have 4 different headlines, which are pin number 1, 4 headlines, which are pin number 2, and 3 headlines, which are my call to actions, which are pin number 3. And what will happen is they will always show in an order of description or branded headlines, followed by a value proposition, followed by a call to action. That way they're all segmented out clearly. Next thing to add now is my description. So I have 2 pin number 1 descriptions to add and 2 pin number 2 descriptions. So I'm gonna add them all at once right here and then add the pins. So now all my descriptions are in place, and all I wanna do is add pin number 2 to the bottom 2 right here and my pin number 1 to the top 2 right here. So now my ad's pretty much done. I have all of my headlines correctly labeled and I have all of my descriptions. So what I can do now is scroll down and click on next. I'm gonna then select my daily budget. So let's say I want to run this campaign for $30 a day to start. I would essentially select a custom budget, put $30 right here, click on next. I'm then going to confirm it's me. It sometimes asks you to do this, so I'm just going to go on my phone quickly. So that's all done. And from there, I'm gonna click on publish campaign. Keep in mind, when you publish a campaign, Google will automatically turn your campaign on. So if you don't want your ads to run right away, go into your campaigns dashboard and pause it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna go into my campaigns and find it. And I can see if I scroll right here that this campaign is now switched on. I'm gonna select this little green bubble down here and click on pause. That way my campaign doesn't start running until I'm fully done. And so just like that, the first part of our campaign is done. What I have now is a search campaign, which essentially targets people who are searching things like eyebrow services in Squamish, BC. That way I can correctly place an ad that shows them relevant headlines and descriptions to that. And if they click on that ad, they essentially end up on this landing page, which is just as relevant as the ad and the keywords, in hopes that people start filling out this form to start generating leads for this client. Now, like I mentioned before, she also provides makeup services. So what I want to do now is create a second ad group, which will have makeup keywords as well as a makeup ad to keep the relevancy there, which will bring those people to the same landing landing page. So that's exactly what we're gonna do next. But before we do that, if you like this video so far and you're getting value out of it, feel free to give me a subscribe and a like below. That way you're updated on all my future videos to come. Okay, so now I have my first ad group for eyebrow services done, and what I wanna do is create my second ad group for makeup services done. So what I wanna do here is click on my campaign, and I can see that first ad group created right here. I'm gonna rename this and call this eyebrow, that way it's clearly labeled. And what I wanna do now is create a new ad group. So I'm gonna click the plus button on create plus an ad group, and it's then gonna ask me to input my new keywords. So the ad group type is going to be standard, and I'm going to call this makeup instead, and click on next. Next, it's asking me for my keywords. I already have them ready in phrase match already this time. So I'm gonna paste them into here, and I'm gonna remove all of this stuff up here because I don't want any AI generated stuff in my ad group. That way we're targeting just the people who are searching up these keywords now. I'm not gonna fiddle with any of these settings down here, and I'm just gonna scroll straight to my ads. You'll notice that your ad is already pre-filled out. This is because it's going off the information you used in the first ad set that you created. So instead of creating everything from scratch here, we just wanna make a couple tweaks. In terms of the final URL, I'm gonna keep this the same because I'm bringing this traffic to the exact same landing page. That's fine. And in terms of the display path, book an appointment is fine too. The one place I wanna change my stuff is my headlines and my description. So what I'm gonna do here is swap out my headlines and descriptions to my new updated headlines, which are the ones that have to do with makeup specifically. So right now, I'm essentially filling out my pin number 1 headlines, which are my descriptive headlines. So I have all of those here, so I can pin all of these number 1. That's all done. So next is the value proposition headlines. These are gonna be pin number 2. So I'm gonna put them here, and then I'm going to add my pin number 2. So pin number 1 and 2 is done. And next I just want my call to action headlines. So those are gonna go down here, and I just have to associate the correct pins to them. And next, sometimes Google will just auto-generate a bunch of headlines for you. Just go in here and just delete that. A lot of the time they'll be relevant, but usually when it comes to your own headlines and descriptions, you wanna write them yourselves. That way, whatever headlines and descriptions you have, you know they're very relevant to the keywords that you're targeting in the first place. So I'm just gonna delete all of those. And next, I just have to add all 4 of my descriptions, which I'll put right here. And I'm just gonna associate these with pin number 1 to the first 2 headlines and pin number 2 to my second one. That way they're showing up in the correct order. Now what I'm gonna do is scroll down and click on save and continue. And now it's giving me an error. It's telling me I'm not allowed to use special characters. So this might be because of the quotation marks for phrase match. So what I'm gonna do here in a case like this, Google sometimes bugs on you like this for no reason, is I'm gonna delete them. I'm gonna publish this ad group, and then I'm just gonna go into my keywords and manually change them to phrase match. So I'm gonna click on that, click save and continue. It should work this time around. So now we can see that our second ad group is created. I'm then gonna change the keywords from broad match to phrase match. So to do that, I'm gonna click on this ad group. My keywords now come up. I'm gonna select all of them, click on edit, change match types, change all match types, and I'm gonna change it to phrase match like this and click on apply. And once I do this, you'll see that these should have quotation marks around them, and then the match type should be changed from broad to phrase. Cool, so that's all done. And so now we're all done. So what we have essentially, if I go back to my campaigns, is we have one campaign, which is targeting 2 different ad groups. People who are searching up for makeup services in Squamish and people who are searching up for eyebrow services in Squamish. We have our correct set of keywords for each ad group, and we're showing them a specifically tailored ad for each of those keywords that are typed. That way, everything is stayed super relevant from the keyword that is typed to the ad that is shown to the landing page that the person is brought to. That's the main thing with search campaigns in Google Ads. You can get very customized with all of this stuff, but the main thing is you always wanna make sure that your keywords, your ads, and your landing page are super relevant to each other. If you get that part right, you should start generating leads fairly quickly at a fairly low cost. So that's it for today's video. I hope you got some value out of this and that you can start generating leads yourself. If you're having problems doing this, or if you don't have the time to build one of these yourself, you can feel free to get me to build you out a Google Ads campaign for you. If you wish to do that, I have a link in the description below where you can book a call with me if you want to have a chat. And other than that, if you have any questions on anything I did today, you can also feel free to just drop that question in the comments below as well. Apart from that, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.